You feel the rumble of the earth beneath your feet as off in the distance a cloud of gray dust steadily plumes toward you. In your ears you hear the thunder of their hooves closer, closer. Like Moses, you raise your arms to the sea. Heavenly bodies part effortlessly with the twitch of an ear or the turn of a nostril. As they pass by you, the faintest whisper of their smooth, glistening hair brushing against your skin. The moisture of their breath heats the air, a divine gift, treasured throughout human existence. The horse provides us with a glimpse not only into the thought traditions of many cultures, but also into our own spirituality. From the hand-carved artifacts of the Celts to the end times of Armageddon, the horse has held a place of infinite importance to many of the world's religions. There is a relationship between the evolution of spirituality and of man's incorporation of the horse into his religious beliefs. From some of the first Celtic traditions of nature worship to the horses of the New Testament, it appears that the path of the horse follows that of man's connection with the divine. Adopted by Roman charioteers from the worship of the goddess Epona, the connection between the horse and man evolved into rituals for strength, fertility, and a source of power, to the vehicle for prophets to travel the heavens, and finally into the mount sent throughout the earth to destroy evil. As man learned to control his environment and bend it to his selfish whims, he also learned to bridle the horse, saddle him with straps and bindings, which gave him the mobility and speed to conquer an ever-widening area. As he learned to control the magnificent beast, he also learned to exploit his religion from a thankfulness and gratitude of the power of his gods to the fighting and killing in the name of his one god to suit his own purposes. In early Celtic tradition, the goddess Epona, protector of the horse, was worshipped by all men who had an interest in equestrian arts, such as cavalry and charioteering, as well as those who made a living in the related industry. Archaeological artifacts portray images of the goddess in carvings, paintings, and shrines built in stables. Romans worshipped the goddess as their own, with prayer, vows, temples, and sacrifices. Special rituals were performed, implementing utensils crafted specifically for these traditions with depictions of the goddess. In return, the goddess protected their horses, their homes, their livelihoods, and the families of those who worshipped her. For the followers of Epona, the gift of the horse for the betterment of their lives was great, and they presented sacrifices of thankfulness to honor her. At this time, the horse created an agricultural culture, and the people appreciated their fortune and blessings bestowed upon them. In Hindu tradition, followers also thank the gods for this most wonderful gift. In the tradition of the Asvameda, it became possible to divinely conquer one's neighbors while still paying tribute to the gods by sacrificing something of great importance. During the early development of Hinduism and the Vedas, Indian society was also dividing into different opposing religious beliefs. As the caste system developed among the people of an area, the politics of their leaders also came into being. The horse, a fertility and warrior sacrifice to the god Varuna, evolved into a sacrifice to earn wealth, land, and power, incorporating the Hindu religious practices into new political agendas. A stallion was chosen and dedicated to the gods, after which time it was set loose towards the north, escorted by those men who were descendants of the higher caste. For a year the stallion would wander, followed by his escorts. At any time the horse entered an occupied area, the town would have to pay its respects by presenting gifts and showing submission to the conquering tribe. If the horse were injured or killed, or its tribe defeated, they would have to pay great sacrifices for their foolishness in the attempt to perform the Asvameda. If the stallion returned after the year, a priest, the hotar, would say prayers and minstrels would sing songs of their conquest. A special ceremony performed during the spring or summer would begin the reign of the new king. The horse was bridled with sacred bindings and offered animal sacrifices to bless his passage and rid him of lingering evil spirits. Every part of the sacrifice had a purpose, but the result was the sacrifice of the stallion, which was then roasted and consumed in order to absorb the strength and wisdoms of the gods. As in the quest for political rule in the Hindu caste system, the horse became an instrument of war for the samurai priests. The ruling class of Japan worshipped the nature gods of the Shinto religion. When disruptive religious views brought by followers of Buddhism fought for control, a class of mounted warrior, monks, or samurai developed to help protect the union between landowners and their servants. This created a greater division between the horse as a gift from the gods and its new position as a weapon of war, to be used to defend religious and political beliefs. The Quran also uses the horse, or Burak, to provide Muhammad with the way to reach the seven heavens on his spiritual ascension to pay restitution for sins of the people. On this journey, the Prophet is flown on his mount from Jerusalem to the level of Allah. There he is taught the ways of the Quran and the paths of fulfillment so that he may take these commands back to his people. From these words, Muhammad wrote down the practices which give divine guidance and absolute obedience to the Islamic law. Although Muhammad did not engage the horse in war, the horse was operating as his vehicle to commune with Allah in order to obtain the laws to govern followers of Islam. The Old and New Testaments further distance the horse from its beginnings as a divine gift and direct it more towards service and the expansion of religious conquest. The birth of the Abrahamic religions and monotheism promoted religious intolerance. The Crusades sent out riders fighting the religious foes. In the scriptures, biblical characters prophesied about avenging angels riding horses to rid the world of sin. In Zechariah 6:1-8, there before me were 4 chariots. The first chariot had red horses, the second black, the third white, and the fourth dappled, all of them powerful. These are the 4 spirits of heaven going out from standing in the presence of the Lord. Then he called to me, "Look, those going toward the north country have given my spirit rest in the land of the north." Armageddon in the book Revelations from the New Testament portrays the final battle of good and evil between those who believe in Jesus, the one Messiah, and all those who deny him. Revelations 19:11-16. Heaven opened, and there before me was a white horse, whose rider is called Faithful and True. With justice he judges and makes war. His eyes are like blazing fire, and on his head are many crowns. His name is the Word of God. The armies of heaven were following him, riding on white horses. Out of his mouth comes a sharp sword. These battles in the name of God against those who do not follow the laws of chosen religion have become the new value of spirituality. It is no longer a question of what divine gifts have been bestowed on the worshipful congregations, but rather who has the mightiest steed. In order to attack with a swift justice for non-believers and to rule with ironclad laws and bind with words and rituals. The evolving nature of religion is intermingled with man's desire to promote his own political and social views. As man moves further away from a personal relationship with his spiritual God, he moves closer to the organized politics of religion. God is no longer the source for strength, power, and existence. Now affirmation of life is gained from being part of the most popular religious sect, and all others should be abolished. Breathe deeply the ancient aroma of great and powerful herds, of mares and stallions, the wild natural defiance of great spirits, which give in infinite respect and worshipful kindness, will take you to the heavens. Touch their strength and let their power blend with the beating of your heart as you sing prayers to the gods and goddesses, that although we have forsaken them and turned their purposes toward